Second week of CVAP. This time we dove a little bit deeper into technical territory. The morning session was focused on equipment and building a home studio for the most part. I enjoyed the rundown through the different kinds of microphones, dynamic, USB, and condenser, as well as the different types of microphone polar patterns, such as omnidirectional, bidirectional, and unidirectional. It was extra nice to see the differences laid out clearly, as well as seeing some examples of microphones of each kind that would be good for beginners to get. The virtual tour of the Creative Voices dubbing booth was also very nice. It gave some good insight as to how it is set up and how it would be if we were to do some dubbing work there. Aside from the typical studio setup, we also learned some nice alternatives for noise treatments, which I found really enlightening, alongside the usual vocabulary terms used in voiceovers. After a run-through of audio editing on Audacity and Adobe Audition, we were also introduced to two main types of voice artist work, voiceovers and character voices. This was used as an entry point into discussing finding our niche, including some quick questions to evaluate what sort of niche we want to choose. Helpfully, it was also mentioned that having a niche doesn't mean that we are restricted to it, it just means we are focusing our learning, mastering, and experiencing on that niche before moving on to another one. Following up on that, the afternoon session also touched on developing our voices, with the inspirational quote of "We have to be aware of our own voice. By accepting it, we will be able to develop it." We started by discussing voice variety. My favorite portions of that was how it was mentioned that our voices can always be changed and improved. We also studied the three main elements of voice acting for voiceovers, as well as the 6 elements in creating character voices. I really enjoyed the little activities and challenges for each of these, as it allowed us to try new things and get live feedback on our performances. Finally, we ended the session with some tips on establishing your brand and marketing your talent. That's all for week 2. Stay tuned for week 3.